believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation.
Do you think the president is a threat? Is that what that means?
I think it's entirely possible. I think that's one of the reasons why we opened the case against him. We had good reason to consider that the president might be a threat to national security.
Did you suspect the president might actually be working for Russia?
We thought that might be possible.
Chris, we're giving our viewers a taste of our next story there, just a snippet of what we're going to be speaking about. But just on what Vladimir Putin was saying about conflict, he was essentially saying that Russia's trying to distance itself. Let's try again, just for a moment here. Let's listen.
Russia wants to have a proper, friendly and equal relationship with the US. Russia does not pose a threat to anyone. Any actions we take are retaliatory, that is to say, in defense. We never seek confrontation. We do not want it, especially with a global power like the US.
And it was wholeheartedly clapped as well, Chris. That is supported, that stance.
Oh, I mean, as I say, I mean, everyone in Russia knows that economically and militarily there is a huge imbalance between the United States and Russia. And you have to be crazy to want to provoke a confrontation, a nuclear confrontation, or any military confrontation with the United States because of that. And it seems to me that what Putin was doing here was almost asking the United States, look, we have got these capabilities, we're developing these weapons, which you probably can't deal with at the moment, why not come back? And actually, you know, you accuse us of being offensive. In Ukraine, we see that we were the people on the receiving end of Western expansion. You can argue about that, but it is the view from Moscow that this was an attempt at another color-coded revolution in the Ukraine that had to be stopped. The West was interfering into Russia's own backyard. In Syria, we're defending our ally, Bashar al-Assad, whatever again you think of that. These are not, in Russia's views, offensive actions. Now, the expansion of NATO and the moving of Western forces onto Russia's border is seen as a direct provocation of Russia. So I think everyone would be grateful in Russia. No one wants a military confrontation, but people want to have get back to the negotiating table and get back to discussions, as has been done in the past, very much so.
OK, Chris Banbury, live from London, our political analyst, speaking to us live on the programme. Great as ever. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, to more world news. We're across this hour. A former acting director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, has provoked a firestorm of controversy by claiming, both in a new book and to the media, that the US president is in the Kremlin's pocket.
Do you still believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation.
Do you think the president is a threat? Is that what that means?
I think it's entirely possible. I think that's one of the reasons why we opened the case against him. We had good reason to consider that the president might be a threat to national security.
Did you suspect the president might actually be working for Russia?
We thought that might be possible.
The background to this is that the US Justice Department fired Andrew McCabe last year, just before he was set to retire, saying he'd lied multiple times under oath about comments he'd made to the media. He claims, however, that the decision was politically motivated. Our senior correspondent, Murat Gazdiev, has the story.
Sensation sells. It's a fact of life. The bigger, the dirtier, the raunchier your story, the more people listen. And this book is dirty, but we'll get to that. First, his revelations. Who could have believed that senior US officials discussed, seriously talked about declaring Trump mentally or physically unfit to be president, meaning he could be constitutionally removed from office?
A discussion of the 25th Amendment was simply Rod raised the issue and discussed it with me in the context of thinking about how many other cabinet officials might support such an effort.
An attempted coup, some call this, in the United States of all places. Insanity.
And was this an attempted bureaucratic coup? I don't know.
This was a coup attempt, there's no doubt about it.
But hey, One man's coup is another's revolution. And would you believe there's worse stuff in this book? Allegedly, Trump trusts Putin more than his own intelligence agencies. Unbelievable.
The president said he did not believe that the North Koreans had the capability to hit us here with ballistic missiles in the United States. Intelligence officials in the briefing responded that that was not consistent with any of the intelligence our government possesses. To which the president replied, "I don't care, I believe Putin."
It's almost too crazy to be true. Come to think of it, that is a pretty outlandish claim. But hey, folks are buying it.
You know, Pat, one of the things that impressed me about McCabe in the interview was how careful he was about what he knew, what he didn't know, and what he had overheard. He was almost as if he was testifying in a trial.
It did seem like McCabe was being credible, and it is a pretty incredible allegation that he's making that Trump would trust Putin's view on this over the U.S. intelligence agencies.
Well, some people will believe anything, especially if it tarnishes Trump. The more sensible will look at the author, Andrew McCabe, who may not be the most honest person in the world at all. According to the Justice Department Inspector General report, Mr. Sensation here, when he was the FBI's deputy director, leaked sensitive information to the press and then lied about it 4 times, 3 of those under oath.
McCabe is rightly perceived already as a lying buffoon with a major set of conflicts of interest. You know, McCabe is, I think, he's under criminal investigation already. He's trying to sell this book now.
So the guy might be a liar. Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Trump trusting Putin more than his intelligence guys, which is strange because Trump threatened North Korea with biblical vengeance, meaning he must have taken the threat seriously.
They will be met with fire and fury.
More than that, in 2017, Russia joined in on sanctions against North Korea, meaning Moscow too saw a threat. The facts fly in the face of sensation. Mr. McCabe, it seems, is back to old habits. A fib, a lie to spice things up, get the book selling. And then the timing. Oh, the timing. Just as Trump and Kim Jong-un prepare for another summit.